10 seconds. Stand by. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be a very quick finale. We're gonna start with 3 heats of our individual male athletes. Then we'll go all the way through with 4 heats of our ladies. We'll then end the day with our top male athletes. Here we go, these athletes now in this heat fighting for bragging rights, Miss Logan. And their position on the leaderboard as they are working through 4 rope climbs, 16 thrusters at 155 pounds, 3 and 12, 2 and 8.
I believe the heaviest thrusters we have seen here at the regionals. The West Regional men kicking off our event 6, our final.
And here we go, as you see, our athletes will move up every 5 reps. Tanner Stahl, your current leader, with Hunter Britt and John Paul Hethcock fighting for second as Tanner goes right to work. The event record 3:17 set by Mr. Matthew Fraser earlier today.
Hunter Britt coming out of the gate hot, attacking that 155-pound barbell. Hunter Britt advancing the barbell before heading back to the rope. He is being chased by John Paul Hethcock and Tanner Stahl. Hunter Britt in the Army green, wasting no time to attack that rope.
Hunter Britt means business as he makes his way up to that rig, hitting the cross beam.
Rafael Durand also in the mix. These guys now hitting their set of 3 rope climbs. And just like we saw earlier today with the teams, these guys going legless at the beginning before being able to use those feet to touch the cross beam.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is the finale for these athletes as John Paul Hethcock and Rafael Durand making their way over to that barbell for their set of 12 thrusters. They will move up every 6 reps.
John Paul Hethcock just a couple reps ahead of Durand. Now back to the barbell as well. Tanner Stahl and Hunter Britt, your 4 gentlemen in the lead. Neck and neck are John Paul Hethcock and Rafael Durand, but it's Hethcock to bite first.
Durand with a few more reps to go, as does Hethcock. Hethcock slamming that barbell down as he advances it into that 3rd and final station. He looks over to his family and friends. He's got 2 rope climbs, 8 thrusters remaining. Same goes for Rafael Durand. Who wants it more as John Paul Hethcock stopping for a little chalk break. Rafael wasting no time. Rafael making his way up. Rafael tagging the top. Oh no, he got a no rep, able to hold on, and now he gets a good rep.
Big jump for John Paul Hethcock off the ground, his 2nd rope climb, his last rope climb of event 6, and count it good for John Paul Hethcock.
Here goes John Paul as he is going to finish up his day with 8 thrusters at 155 pounds. There he goes. John Paul Hethcock in the driver's seat with Rafael Durand in his rear view.
4 reps in for Hethcock. Last 4 reps for Hethcock as Rafael Durand strikes to try to catch up. But it is John Paul Hethcock on his last few reps. Last rep for Hethcock.
He gets up and over the bar and races into that end zone, and he will finish with a time of around 4 minutes.
It's a no rep for Durand, slowing him down, allowing Tanner Stahl to come up on his heels.
You have Tanner, you have Britt, and you have Rafael. Rafael getting no reps. And there goes Britt. Hunter Britt racing into that end zone, and he will finish up. Followed right behind is Tanner Stahl.
Tanner Stahl and Rafael Durand in. We're approaching the 5-minute mark with a 7-minute time cap. Almost at that finish line. We've got Tyler Wilcox in the white, we have Eric Evans in the black. These gentlemen with their last few reps of thrusters.
Evans looking to finish up.
155 pounds on that barbell, less than 5 reps to go for Tyler Wilcox.
And there goes Evans. Eric Money Evans across that finish line, as does Tyler Wilcox. Now we have 3 athletes remaining, Nate and Steven. They are both tied at that final barbell. Nate making his way over.
And Josh, they're gonna have about 90 seconds to work. Nathan striking first.
Nate going unbroken for his first set of 4. He's got 4 more to go. Same goes for Bidwell. Bidwell showing control with that barbell as he gets down, but there goes Nate. Nate now with 3 more reps to go. Can Nate finish? He's got 2 more reps.
Last 2 reps for Nathan Pontius, but it's a no rep. Not able to show control overhead. Last 2 reps for Pontius.
And Pontius just may lose out on a placing, as there goes Stephen Bidwell. Bidwell finishing ahead of Pontius. Pontius holding onto that barbell. Pontius with 1 more rep to go.
Last rep for Pontius. Not able to get that 155 pounds off his shoulders. He needs to reset, and he needs to do so in the last 35 seconds left on the clock.
Nate's got 1 more rep to go. There it is. Nate up and over the bar as he races into that end zone, and Nate finishes under the cap. Athletes, you have 15 seconds.
15 seconds left on the clock for our last event here at the West Regionals. Tanner Sturm working hard to get up that rope as he has 3, 2, 1, time.
Ten seconds. Stand by.
Heat 2 of the gentlemen taken to the floor, ready to attack our 6th and final event here at the West Regional in Del Mar, California. These gentlemen up and down that rope, most of them 2 times already, 2 of 4 to kick off this event. Tyler Tosunian with a quick clasp of the rope in his feet before he is down and up again for his 4th and final rep. But first, advancing to that barbell, we have Vinny Catricala and Chris.
We got Chris Detmering, Vinny Catricala, and Cameron Pernich as they go right to work on these thrusters. These thrusters should be no problem whatsoever for these big boys, as 155 on the barbell. They look to knock out 16 reps, advancing every 8.
155 pounds on that barbell, but not showing to be an issue for Detmering or Catricala. These guys leading the pack. Just behind them, Mark Pfeiffer in the red t-shirt, the middle of the floor. Cameron Pernich at his heels, as well as Malachi Bennett. These guys are neck and neck in this first round of this blazing fast event.
And Cameron Pernich moving up, as is Chris Detmering and Vinny Catricala.
Tyler Tosunian also joining the guys, but it's Cameron Pernich leading the pack. First to strike on his set of 3 rope climbs.
Chris Detmering tagging the top, as does Cameron Pernich, all trying to get to that magic number of 3. Waiting them after their 3 rope climbs, 12, count them, 12 thrusters at 155. Catricala chasing down your number 1 athlete, Cameron Pernich. Pernich over to his barbell as he goes right to work on 12 with Detmering in 2nd. Detmering looking very determined as he walks over to that barbell. So it goes 1, Pernich, 2, Detmering.
And looks like it will be 3, Catricala, as Catricala leaves behind that road rig. But chasing at his heels is Tyler Tosunian. In the middle of your floor, your heat leader, Cameron Pernich in lane 5. Cameron Pernich looking to hold off the competition and set the new time to beat. He is going to have to beat John Paul Hefcock, setting the time at 4:05 last heat. Cameron Pernich with a little pep in his step. Last 2 rope climbs for Pernich.
Here we go, Pernich trying to finish it up as we pass the 3-minute marker. The event record looks like it's gonna be safe, 3:17 set by Matt Fraser. However, looking for that top time here in the West Regional. As Pernich making his way back to that barbell, looking to set that top time.
Last 8 thrusters for Pernich, 155 pounds up on his shoulders. He gets it locked out for his first rep. Second rep for Pernich. And he is halfway through his last set, and Del Mar, he's not putting that bar down. Last rep for Cameron Pernich. He's up and over, and in that end zone, new time to beat by Cameron Pernich.
Cameron Pernich setting that new time to beat. Meanwhile, Detmering advancing that barbell still while holding on. Pernich with a time of 3:44. Detmering hitting that 4-minute mark. And with 1 more thruster to go, Detmering up and over the bar, and he will race into that end zone for a finish.
Tyler Chasunian trying to clench that 3rd place finish in this heat. He has a few more reps to go. He's trying to catch up to Malachi Bennett. Malachi Bennett with his last good rep, and here he goes sprinting to finish. Neil Maddox is done, as well as Tyler Chasunian.
Vinny Catracala right behind as he looks to finish. Catracala just a few more reps to go. Same goes for Pfeiffer.
Last few reps for Pfeiffer, but Catracala able to hold on to that lead, and it's Catracala first into the finish.
Right behind Pfeiffer as Pfeiffer races into that end zone, and now we have 2 athletes looking to finish this event, and under the cap, they have 2 minutes to do so.
Last 2 minutes on the clock for Amador Artiega as well as Mike Brown. These guys with 8 thrusters to go. Last 8 thrusters for Artiega. Artiega strikes first. Jumping that 155 pounds off his shoulders and locking it out overhead. Here comes Artiega. Last 4 reps for Artiega. Last 4 reps for Brown. There's less than 90 seconds on the clock, and we're gonna get both of these guys across that line, Del Mar. Let's make some noise. Here comes Artiega and Mike Brown with a foot race at the end.
And just like that, finishing under the cap. Nicely done. Ladies and gentlemen, these athletes are done for the day, for the weekend. Let's give them a big round of applause.
And we see Garrett Fisher in lane number 6. See Ben Stoneberg in 4, George Sanchez in 5. And this is, I would guess, Bill, this is one where it's just sprint from start to finish. It's not watching anybody else, it's just going.
It really is. I mean, it's a race, but these guys are going to be able to go fast. Now, here's the thing. We have characters in this heat that have a mathematical shot of making it into that top 5, but a lot of things have to happen. But majority is going to be these guys are going to mess up the leaderboard for that final round, and one of those guys is Garrett Fisher. He's a tall athlete. Which makes that does really well for him for the rope climb. But I've also known over the course of his CrossFit career that thrusters are not an issue for him, especially any kind of heavy thrusters. So the 155 is not going to be an issue. He's going to move that well. You got to look at the other characters just behind him. George Sanchez, he's there in the blue tank top. All the way up at the very top of the screen, you see Dane McLaughlin. There he is up at the very top left-hand corner of your screen. So there are a handful of guys that are going to go fast and hard, and I think they can disrupt that leaderboard towards the top going into this next heat.
Again, we're getting ready for Heat 3 of event number 6 here on the final day of competition here at the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games West Regional. And we are underway here in heat number 3. And that's Kyle Kleinschmidt on the right of your screen. Only 9 men in this heat. That's Garrett Fisher in lane number 6.
Now he's using his length to his advantage. He's not having to pull up nearly as many times as these other guys, and that's really helping him to get that long reach, and he can come right back down. Man, that was a fast set of 4.
And Fisher is in the lead. He'll be the first to approach the thrusters. Sanchez is right there as well. They've got to get through 16 thrusters before going back for 3 rope climbs.
Now, one of the things that I really like that Garrett is doing, he's a tall athlete, so comparatively to someone like Ben Stoneberg, who's all the way over on the left side of the screen there, he's got to shorten up that range of motion. So you'll see him going a little wider with his feet, which enables him to go down just to depth. He doesn't want to go very far past that parallel position. That's a lot of extra distance that he has to do. No sense in doing that. So wider foot stance and also a wider arm stance. That allows him to shorten up that range of motion on his arms. Smart move by Garrett.
Take a look at our time to beat here. And that is Cameron Pernich, 3:44.58. Again, that's 3:44.58. Happened in heat number 2. The event record, Matthew Fraser, 3:17.67. What you just say wow to, he did that in the Central Regional. And here's Fisher again. He and Sanchez are 2 early leaders here.
Sanchez is moving well too, but Fisher just has that tempo and that length that he's really using across the rest of the field. He's not even running back and forth, but he just seems smooth. Not taking a lot of extra work for no reason. Using that transition as his rest.
And Fisher has a 9-second lead right now. He is on the round of 12 thrusters. Then he'll be back for 2 more rope climbs and then 8 more thrusters. Fisher comes into this final event. He's in 12th place.
Now, I'll tell you what, he looks very strong in this event. And I was expecting to see something more like this in the last event, but I don't know if that finish before helped to fire him up for this particular event, but he looks so confident. This looks like a Garrett Fisher from days past. Very confident about what he's doing, not bothered by what he's doing, and just moving so well.
1 more rope climb, and then it's out for 8 thrusters. And
Look
Fisher
at this. Wow.
in command. Now just 8 thrusters for Fisher.
So we talked about people that are going to spoil that next heat. Man, he is not disappointing. This is exactly what he needed him to do.
Just 4 more reps now for Fisher before he finishes. Here's Fisher. And he's just going to be behind the time to beat that was set in heat number 2, about 4 seconds behind, but he comes in with an impressive win in heat number 3. Here's Sanchez in 5. And Sanchez will come in 2nd in heat number 3.
So those were the guys that I was really expecting to see something happen here on this particular event. Putting some brakes on some of those other guys in the upcoming heat.
This is Medeiros we're getting a look at. 14th overall heading into event number 6. Lane number 9 towards the bottom of your screen, that's Kleinschmidt. But in lane 2, we've got Patzer coming in. Lane 1, Dave McLaughlin in. And then we saw Medina the third and Kleinschmidt coming in. That's Stoneberg in lane 4 still out there. He's finishing up. And this is Carmody in lane 3.
Wow, that 7-minute time cap, just unnecessary. I mean, it's nice to be able to have everybody finish, but you can just tell that these guys are coming in well ahead of that cap.
And Carmody, with plenty of time to spare, will come in and finish off heat number 3. But Garrett Fisher rebounding from a poor showing in event number 5 to come in with a very good showing in event number 6, taking heat number 3.
Yeah, I think he probably felt he needed that one, but from start to finish, he was just in command. Didn't come off like he was in a rush or that there was any sort of like angst about it. He just did his thing. Nice jump, very long reach with those arms, using his length to his advantage, being smart on how he sets his body up to reduce that range of motion on the thruster. But just so strong. I mean, 155 pounds for him on a thruster is not any sort of issue at all. He handled it like it was 95 pounds, moved it well. And again, I really think that this is going to be one of those times that it's going to help ruffle those feathers in that last heat, in the next upcoming heat. But what a great finish for Garrett. He needed that to end up this and cap off this weekend.
Let's get a look at our lanes here for this final competition of the weekend. We see Lucero in 1, Cody Anderson in 2, Mitchell Stevenson in 3, Josh Bridges in 4, Brent Fikowski in 5, Cole Sager in 6, Mitch Barnard in 7, Jonathan Gibson in 8, Andre Jordan in 9, Jason Carroll in 10.
Now Cody Anderson, he had a rough first day, and talk about someone who's made the big jump. That was him. He had an incredible second day, and then here he is doing great in the third day. So he's only 18 points out. This is a good position for him to be in. Again, we've seen crazier things happen, and every time he needs to do well, he has. So great position for him to be in, plus we know he has the experience to do so. Now someone that we saw fall from grace from that first day, John Gibson came in on that first day in first place, had a rough second day, saw that fall from grace. He is right back into the mix. Things can still happen. And you know what? He's a fighter. He's a hockey player fighter with some cool hair. And I want to see a hair whip at the end of this for sure again, John. But again, he's right there. He can make it happen.
5 men will go to the CrossFit Games. Who will it be? We'll find out now. Our time to beat is Cameron Pernich, 3:44.58. That happened in heat number 2 again. Cameron Pernich, 3:44.58. And Brent Fikowski out first in the red top in lane number 5.
And even with that, look up at the top of your screen. We saw Cody Anderson also right in that mix with Cole Sager and Jason Carroll. So we have a lot of guys that have hopped out there. But again, with Cody Anderson sitting right on that bubble, he's someone, if he can hang with this group, that's going to be amazing for him.
Brent Fikowski in the lead in this heat and overall in this competition. He's followed by Jason Carroll down at the bottom of your screen in lane 10, and we also see Cole Sager in lane 6 rounding out the top 3. But of course, we are keeping our eyes on Cody Anderson in lane 2. He came into this in 7th place. On the bubble in those white lanes. Right now, Fikowski and Sager will be the first 2 back to the rope climb again, but there's Anderson in lane number 2.
Now,
Mitch Stevenson.
And we haven't really talked a whole lot about him, but he's been right in that mix the entire time. Problem with like coming in 5th a handful of times is you get overlooked. It's kind of like you're eclipsed by the first and you're well past the guys that are coming in last. So he's had an amazing show up to this point. He needs to try to hold on to that position. Him and Mitch Barnard are tied at that 322. They got to keep Cody Anderson out of there. And here's the thing, Cody Anderson is right ahead of Stevenson.
And Fikowski comes out first, followed by Sager. Cody Anderson comes up as well in lane number 2. Those are your top 3 in lane 10. Here comes Carroll. Fikowski moving quickly. He's in the red top, Sager in the white top moving up.
Oh my goodness, the way this is shuffling up. We have our 2 leaders up at the front that we really don't even need to concern ourselves. I mean, they're winning, they're doing great. Cole and Brent right there. But those guys are in the front. You have to look at who is left here. We got Mitch Barnard. He's trying to hang in there. He's tied up with Mitchell Stevens. But Cody Anderson is sitting in that number 3 spot. So he's got to pick it up if he wants to hold on to that position.
There's Cody Anderson making his way back. We see Fikowski and Sager already back there. Fikowski in red. And Fikowski already finished and back out for thrusters again. Followed closely by Sager.
Here comes Cole doing what he does on those dang thruster rope climb workouts.
But here's Cody Anderson. He entered in 7th. Trying to trace down Stevenson. The time to beat, Cameron Purnich, 3:44.58.
Look at that tempo that he's moving, so fast.
So here's Sager.
Oh-ho!
Sager taking event 6. Here's Fikowski. A 2nd place finish for Fikowski, but here's Anderson.
Wow.
Huge.
Man, that kid does whatever he needs to do, exactly when he needs to do it. Now Carroll's down at the bottom. He needs to pick that bar up. He's looking around to see where everyone is. He still has a shot to squeeze in there. Mitch and Mitchell were tied. So if these guys can bump them out, I mean, they're finishing so far ahead. If they can do that, they can jump into that spot.
We've still got Mitchell Stevens over there in the black t-shirt. Here's Carroll coming in. Carroll's gonna get it before him. And there's Stevenson in lane 3. Here's Bridges coming in.
That was a great finish for Stevenson. That's exactly what he needed.
Lucero comes in. And that's Andre Jordan. There's Barnard. This is big. Barnard was in 4th entering this final event, Bill.
Well, you know, 4th by number, but basically on that red line. We just saw all the people that were in contention to try to put themselves up. Barnard's knocked himself out. He knocked himself out of that top 5 group.
So we just saw Jordan comes in. Here's Gibson. And now Gibson will come in. 1:55 remains. Barnard. There's 1:45 left, but again, he entered this in 4th. But the way this has played out, he's not getting up that rope.
No way. Between this heat and the other heats, he's dropped himself way out. Man, I'll tell you what, Cody Anderson, whenever this kid needs to do what he needs to do, he puts it down. And the climb that he took from that first day to here, man, that's impressive.
Back to Barnard. Again, he's potentially watching his trip to Madison slip away. Minute remains.
I mean, I tell you what, we have everybody in this heat, other than the Barnard, have finished. The last heat, everybody finished. The heat before that, I think everybody finished. The 34th position or 35th or whatever he ends up placing here is not what he needed. He just didn't have any sort of a cushion to be able to protect himself from something like that.
And this is what can happen. Just the tank can be empty sometimes. The want is there, the fuel might not be.
Well, and with any sort of gymnastic type movement, that's how it ends up happening. You hit the wall, and when you hit the wall, you have no option other than just to sit there and wait. And that's really too bad. He had such a great weekend, this entire weekend. I mean, it's rough to kind of have this be the end right here, and you just have such a not as successful finish. But what a great weekend overall, and I hope he doesn't take that too bad. He had a spectacular weekend.
And the cap will sound. Cole Sager takes event number 6.
And you know what? Brent Fikowski said he wanted to win this, but anytime we've seen rope climbs and thrusters and Cole Sager in the same event, Cole Sager does really well. So we start off with Brent Fikowski really pushing that envelope, setting that pace. Cole Sager just keeping right in stride with them, a little bit faster on the clip. And then as they made themselves towards the end, Cole had just enough to go and push a little bit faster. That's what he did, and he looked so good. And again, I think the nice thing with Cole is he's got that mindset now where he doesn't look to see where everybody is. He knows how to push himself, and that's exactly what happened here. He came all the way into it, all the way to that final segment, and then the sprint across the finish, fired up. Way to go. And I'll tell you what, not once did this guy have to dig himself out of a hole the entire weekend. Spectacular weekend by Cole.
All right, let's take a look at these results here from event number 6. We see Cole Sager with a time of 3:28.12, finishing ahead of Brent Fikowski, 3:33.92. Cody Anderson, a big move for him, coming in third, 3:38.79. Cameron Pernich, and then you see Mitchell Stevenson and Jason Carroll down there at 4:09 and 4:10, right next to each other. So we're going to see how this all plays out with the shakeup of the leaderboard. They're obviously tabulating the results right now, but things are once again going to shift.
Well, the fact that Cody was only 16 points out, he was hoping for a couple people to play in between him and Mitchell Stevens or Mitch Barnard, depending who was going to be there, whoever finished the best. The fact that he has, 5 people in between himself and Mitchell Stevens, that's a pretty good number. I mean, that's a very good number. And we saw earlier what happened with Becca Voigt, the same sort of setup, and it played in his favor. Now, granted, I don't have my calculator out here in front of me, and they're doing all their abacus work behind me, so we'll figure that out how it turns out. But if you had to play it any way you could, that was the way to play it.
All right, Cole Sager is with our Kiki Dixon.
Wow, Cole, you maintained a blazing pace of 3:28 for this event. How'd you maintain it?
Hard in the beginning, hard in the middle, hard at the end. No, I just trusted my abilities. I think that's something that we prepare for all year. And you just go out and do what you know you can do.
Did you find yourself focusing more on the thrusters or the climbs?
The thrusters, that's my strength. I can cycle that well, so just making sure to be consistent throughout the whole thing, and then just take the thrusters that I know I can do them.
Talking about consistency, this is one of the most consistent regionals that you've been a part of. How much more enjoyable was the weekend this way?
It was very enjoyable. I think that every experience is different. This has been really cool, new crowd, a crowd I've never been around. Thank you guys for being here. I love it. It's just an electrifying stadium to be in.
Thanks, Cole.
Absolutely, thank you guys.
So Cole Sager, again, we've talked about it all weekend, Bill. We're used to him coming from behind, digging himself out of a hole. He was in those top 3 spots all weekend long, and we saw he capitalized upon that performance.
Well, he did exactly what he is supposed to do, exactly what he's wanted to do. And the fact that whether he needed to make up the points, which he's done in the past, or here he is up at the top, and not necessarily needing to make up the points, he pushes. So just like what he said, he does what he does. He trains to do what he does. And it came out exactly like that. So even though he was up in the lead or up in the top 2, he pushed all the way through. He's a competitor, and that's what he's supposed to do. He's an athlete, he's a competitor, and he laid it down. Yeah, but I will say this, even though we talked about what he's done here, man, Brent Fikowski has really shown us that, like, hey, guess what? Maybe the Open really didn't matter all that much. There was the big question, and everyone was concerned. He wasn't really concerned. I think that was smart. I think that was okay. Man, great job.
Cody Anderson, I mean, just the comeback he had as the weekend continued.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I think he waxed up the tips of his mustaches just a touch. We were talking about that earlier. It looks like he waxed that up, and another great showing. spectacular day yesterday, great showing today. Again, we have to see how it plays out, but man, what a way to finish.
Well, the entirety of this West Regional for both the men and the women has been fantastic, and to have it close with such compelling storylines playing out, it just shows you why we love this so much. And watching Sager and watching Fikowski and watching Cody Anderson give us that drama, it's all led up to this, and the scores are in. Let's send it down to Josh Gallegos for the announcements.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We have the results for your 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games West Regional Individual Male Athletes. In first place in a very close race, taking first place by just 2 points with 488 points, Brent Fikowski. In second place with a score of 486 points, Cole Sager. In third place with 434 points, Josh Bridges. In fourth place, taking one of 2 qualifying spots with 392 points, Cody Anderson. And the last and final qualifying spot with 386 points, Mitchell Stevenson.
So our top 5 are in, and I was just given this note, Bill. Cody Anderson was 31st after event number 1. He was 28th after event 2, 13th after event 3, 7th after event 4, 7th after event 5, and he moves up into 4th place when it's all said and done.
I'm telling you what, that first day, you almost, like, you just want to kind of discount it. A 31st and a 22nd on your first 2 events, that's not what you want. Out of the next 4 events, a first, a second, and a third. I mean, he came back with a vengeance. Spectacular attack and way to finish up the weekend.